Bonjour, ohaya gozaimashita, genki desu ka, willkommen, bienvenue, selamat datang. Thank you for coming into my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe. This channel is all about food, travel and bits. What a beautiful world we live in. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be making apricot jam. I say we because I'm hoping that you'll join in just by watching. So, roughly 2 and a bit kgs of apricots. You don't need to use that many. You can use 3, 4, 20, 200, whatever you have to hand. Then we have some lemons. I'm using about 3 lemons. Cut in half and juicing. So there's some juice which I've already done. Some sugar. Probably need a little bit more than that, but let's see how it goes. And what else do we need? Oh, cooking vessel. There we go, cooking vessel. Nice cooking vessel. I'm using a copper bottom for better transfer of heat on this stupid electric oven, which we need to change to gas at some stage. Anyway, utensils required. 1 knife, 1 bigger knife, chopper, and that's about it. So first thing to do is to wash the fruit, prepare the fruit by cutting and dicing and so on to the consistency that you would like. You can leave it as a, obviously after you've taken the stone out and cut it into halves or quarters or whatever. As you would like it. I'm not making a jelly, I'm making a fruit, because jelly is made from fruit juice and I'm making a fruit jam. Now when you come across something like this, there's nothing wrong with it. This is not mold, this is just where maybe a branch of the tree has hit the fruit when it's developing. But for appearance purposes and stuff, I like to keep everything nice, so I just kind of clean that, take that bit off maybe as well. There's nothing wrong with it, but well, I might be giving some away to other people if they're lucky and behave themselves. Okay, so let me get on with it. Now the other thing you're going to need are jars in which to store the fruit. I'm using or reusing jars which we've used and cleaned out, and now they're in a sterile solution of Milton, just to sterilize everything. They're nice and clean, and if they're sterile, then obviously they can be given to people and so on without killing them. Now I've left the labels on. You can take the labels off if you want to. Some of them come off, some of them don't come off, but it doesn't make any difference. Another label will go on top of them anyway. Latest. Here we go. I've cut, diced, obviously washed them first, washed, cut, diced, and just mashed them up a little bit using the trusty potato masher, going like that. And they're now ready to go on heat. The reason I mashed them a little bit is just to release the juices a little bit and get the whole thing process started. I am on electric, so it takes ages for the electric to get going. Right, now I'm just going to add some lemon juice. I think I'll add the lemon juice. Let me add the lemon juice in a little bit. Let the heat start going first. Now, you may be wondering, after all the cutting and so on, what do you do with the stones that you take out? Interesting question. You can chuck them in the garden, hoping that one of these will sprout, because I've got quite a lot of them, as you can see. Lots and lots of them. What we used to do when I was growing up years ago was we used to rub them on stone like this, rub, until you get to the hole on this side, and then you do the same on the other side, and then you get to the hole on the other side, and then you poke out the walnut. Well, it's not walnut, but it's a nut inside, the seed of the almond, not the almond, but oh god, I'm getting mixed up. The seed of the apricot, poke that out, and then you can use that as a whistle. That's the remaining shell, because you'll have a hole on that side, hole on that side. That's how we used to pass our time when we were growing up. Oh, wasn't it fun? Anyway, cut lemons. What you can do with these is just chuck them in the sink. Not a whole load of them, just one or two in the sink, near the sinkhole. Add a little bit of salt and you'd be amazed the flavours that come out, or the smells that come out. Flavours, oh god, you're not going to be eating them. The smells that come out, the aromas that come out, it's very good. Anyway, I use this little gadget. No sponsorship by anybody, unfortunately, but there we go. I use this little gadget to squeeze the lemons rather than doing them by hand. Just roll them out at first onto the like that, just to release the juices inside. These are unwaxed, but I'm not going to be using the peel because I'm not making an apricot marmalade. You probably can make a marmalade out of apricot, but I'm not doing that. Now, you need to stir this a little bit because otherwise you get caramelization taking place on the bottom and the thing might start burning. You could add a little bit of water to it, but I'm not. I am instead going to be adding some lemon juice. That was the juice of, this is the juice of 3 lemons. Quite a bit actually. I was quite pleased with that. Good lemons, good bargain. Reason I'm making the jam today is because we managed to get a whole load of apricots and other fruit rather cheaply, and today cheap is good. It's not a dirty word, it's good. It means you can eat healthily without store-bought products, and good for you. Okay. So I just tested the temperature. The temperature is around about 85 degrees, so nowhere near yet. Probably because I'm stirring it, but I need to stir it because otherwise you do get that burntness at the bottom where the caramelization is taking place. Sorry about the steam, it's just fogging up the camera lens. There we go. It's a little bit better. You may notice these red bits here. Unless you're colourblind, in which case they're green, but they are red, trust me. They might not be green, I don't know, they might be blue. I don't know what happens when you get colourblind. Anyway, those are a few gooseberries that I threw in. Why did I throw in a gooseberry? They contain a lot of pectin, and I've been meaning to get use of them. They've been lying around in my freezer for a little while. So I thought, oh, what can I do? I can make some gooseberry relish and all that sort of stuff. I thought, oh, throw them in here. I don't seem to have an apple to hand, so I might as well throw some gooseberries in because they contain a lot of pectin. Now, when you reach a magic temperature of 217 to 220-ish, the pectin starts to work and thicken up the jamming process. Okay, I'll catch you later as the temperature creeps up. This normally takes about half an hour or so. So just be patient. Unfortunately, it's a question of just keeping at it. But the results are well worth it. Here we go again. So I've added, I'm about to add the sugar because the temperature is now in the 85-ish region. Because I'm using a curved bottom vessel and this is an electric cooker, the flame, or not, there's no flame obviously, the heat is actually centered around the middle there. At the edges is cooler by about 4 or 5 degrees compared to here. That's why I'm also stirring to keep the heat a little bit more even. But I thought this is about the right sort of time to add a bit of sugar. I don't want to add too much sugar because I want to keep the thing as fruity as possible. Let's see how that goes. You can make a jam out of virtually any fruit. I've even made it out of pumpkins, and that was actually very, very nice. Pumpkin jam is beautiful. Anyway, here we go. Keep stirring. Let's see if we can get it past up to about 105 degrees Celsius. 220 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe I might have said 220 degrees centigrade before, but then this goes to show we are amateurs. Amateur. Je suis un amateur. But we make good food. We don't do Michelin style cooking here. No small portions. No need for a microscope. Proper food here. All this steam is affecting the phone camera obviously, but anyway, you get the gist. So here we go. I'm measuring the temperature. As you can see, it's 99, 95. You may have noticed, for the observant ones of you, there will be a test later, I've changed the cooking pot. Reason being, this is a flat bottom pot. With the other pot, it was just not getting up to temperature at all. I found that most I could get out of it was about 99 degrees. This is already up to 101, and that's only been in a couple of minutes. So let's see if I can get it to the magic figure of about 105, then we're done, kind of thing. But yeah, I can see it thickening up already, and it's cooking all the way around. Whereas with a round pot, well, all pots are round, well, mine are anyway, or with a curved pot, I found it was getting to high temperature here, but nothing here. Whereas this is more or less even all the way through. Let's see. No, we are. Nice. Switch the display off. If we can get it, we're nearly there. A few more minutes, I reckon. 92, 93, creeping up. 95, 96. It's like the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? This, or the snail coming into town. Slow but sure. Right. I think it's still 1 or 2 minutes away, so I'll come back to you when I reach temperature and I'll show you. So you can see it's now at 104 degrees, 104.35, 4, 6, come on, get there, we're getting there. Oh, are we nearly there? Are we there? We are there. Right, good, I can stop. Right, this is on the gas which is not on at the moment. I keep saying gas, but it's actually electric, which is not on. However, it's still bubbling away. Now, the one thing to remember when making jams or marmalades or any preserve like this is that it is extremely hot and quite dangerous. So wear protective gloves and don't get too close to it without, bare fingers like that, because you will get burnt, and if you get burnt, this is a nasty, nasty burn. Okay, so we're at temperature. I'm just going to let it cool a little bit, and then I'm going to start bottling it. Now I'll go and get the sterilized bottles, and we'll clean up the surface area a little bit here. Bit of a mess. But there we go. Clean it up, start bottling, and then tip them upside down to seal them, and let's see what happens. Okay, we're now going to start bottling. These are the sterilized jars which I've just taken out of the Milton solution. They've been in there for well over an hour, so they're nice and sterile. 4 of them to start with. The lids are there as well. These are racks for putting them on after I've bottled them, because they're going to be very, very hot. Very hot. And also I'll put a little bit of a greaseproof paper on here, just because when I'm bottling, it's bound to go everywhere, and well, I'll probably be in trouble if I do that. Okay, I'm using a simple ladle like this to bottle it in. Because this is very hot, I don't want to do this one hand, so I'll show you one little bit. There we go. That's one. Now I'll put the camera down and get on with the rest, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do afterwards. So here we go, one almost empty pot, enough for a few jam sandwiches, I think, in there. And 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles of apricot jam. There we go. It's a nice deep rich colour, actually. Natural colour of the fruit. This just goes to show that when you buy store-bought products, they have lots of colorings and preservatives and all sorts of other rubbish in it. So anyway, these have just been bottled. It's still very, very hot. So the trick now is to, I've tightened them already using a pair of gloves, because otherwise, you know, it's too hot to handle and it's glass, so got to be careful. So I tip it upside down like that. Put that one there as well, and these two as well. The reason for doing this is twofold. It actually, the hot jam will kill the bacteria as it goes down, and in the air that be at the top of the, because I didn't completely fill them to the top. You'll see there's a little bit of an air gap at the top of each one, or now in the bottom of each one. I'll leave them like that for a few minutes, and then I shall turn them back over again, and after a few minutes more, what will happen is that the lid will actually pop into itself, forming a nice airtight seal, because the heat from the jam as it goes down will draw the air, and it'll draw through suction, it'll draw the lid down a little bit, forming a nice tight seal, which is why when you open a good jar you hear a pop go up. Anyway, that's the way to do it. Now the main thing about this process of making jams and preserves like this is be very careful as the temperature shoots up. Be very, very careful. You don't want to burn yourself. So safety first, and obviously cleanliness, because as you said, as you see, I did have some splash. Also, when it's boiling, when the pot is boiling, be very, very careful of splashback. So you choose a big pot. Don't fill a small pot to the top. Choose a slightly larger pot so that when it bubbles up and it splashes over, you're not going to get too much splashing outside, because it's a pain, real pain, to clean everything up and find all the sticky spots afterwards. But also it's highly dangerous, because if some of that goes onto your skin, you've had it. It'll be down to the emergency rooms, or put some aloe vera on. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and comment. Do comment. Bye for now.